What up, friends? It's Who We Are, and today we're going to be reviewing aespa's second mini-album, Girls. This is the second mini-album by K-pop girl group aespa. aespa is SM's big girl group right now, reaching huge levels of fame and are on track to be one of, if not the biggest K-pop girl group. It took a bit to grow on me, but their debut single back in 2020, Black Mamba, was a fantastic and gritty pop tune. Their follow-up single, Savage, cemented them as a group to watch thanks to its chaotic and experimental production style, alongside a great little mini-album to go with it. Their second mini-album here is kinda weird. There's some great songs on here for sure, including some singles that they released earlier in their career that never actually made it onto a project, but a lot of what's on here also feels very disjointed from each other, like they didn't exactly know what they were going for when they were putting it together. Girls is a very solid title track featuring a dark and foreboding trap beat and synth chimes. The sampled, muffled brass section is really catchy and fun, and the Girls' flows here are really cocky and fit the vibe perfectly. It has a very strong energy to it, and the addition of the guitars are very punchy and in your face, and are pretty unique for K-pop, I have to say. The harmonies and background vocals in the chorus are also super slick. There's some good transitions between the normal verses and the rapping segments as well. The EDM-inspired dance break comes in a bit out of nowhere, I have to say, especially after the great bridge with Ning Ning's vocals, but it's a great track in spite of that. The lyrics are also pretty interesting as it ties back into the sort of virtual world concept that they got going on here, with them fighting back against this Black Mamba that was present in some of their previous songs. It's a pretty wild concept, but it's a lot of fun. The next track, Illusion, is another heavy hitter. I will admit that the yummy yummy line is a bit corny, but the rest of the song is such a bop that I have no choice but to let it slide. Plus, I like Ice Cream by Blackpink, so who am I to talk, right? That siren tone in the synth is great, and I'm loving how the beat is understated but still powerful at the same time. It's forceful, and I like the distorted vocals that get thrown in here and there to add some texture too. The Girls have an attitude that evokes that total bad bitch vibe that I'm super into, and it's a catchy song to boot, especially that chorus. It's a sultry love song, so all of this matches the lyrics well, as the girls are depicting themselves as this person that everybody is smitten by. Next up, we are hitting the trifecta with Lingo. The harmonic on this thing is incredible, adding a flash of manic chaos to this bassy and bouncy dance tune. It's super fun and quirky, and the vocals have a lot of charm to them. It honestly feels like a Caravan Palace song at times, which is pretty unique for K-pop, I have to say. The lyrics are even kind of about this wacky sound, as they're essentially saying how they are the new wave for K-pop, how they're always forward-thinking, and you know what? I like that confidence, especially when they're on a song that can actually back that up. It's short and sweet, but the rumbling bass and playful energy of the track, it just has me hooked. Unfortunately, next we go to Life's Too Short, which is definitely the weakest song on the mini-album. It directly contrasts the previous track by being a very generic guitar-driven pop tune with a simple snap beat feebly walking behind it. The beat is so boring, their vocals don't even really have that liveliness that they're known for, and just everything on here doesn't have that aespa charm. You see so many groups with this sound as like part of their B-sides or something like that, it's just not impactful. I can appreciate the lyrics about living your life despite people hating on you, but goddamn, this shit's just so uninteresting to listen to. The next track, ICU, is an odd one. As far as pop ballads go, it's okay, but it's really unfitting for this mini-album. The delicate acoustic instrumental, despite being a pretty pleasant backdrop for the vocals, sticks out like a sore thumb, and it kind of halts the pace of the project. I'm digging the light piano and sing-song vocals, but this really needed to be on an acoustic mini-album or a summer mini-album, not a project that starts with 3 dance pop bangers. They also included an English version of Life's Too Short on this project for some reason. I don't really know what to say. I still don't like the song, and I think the Korean version actually flowed a bit better, so I really don't get why this was included on here other than for streams. They also included their debut single Black Mamba on here, and despite being kind of unnecessary, it is cool to actually have it on a full-length project at least. That gritty bass line that starts the track off is still so lush and powerful, and the girls' vocals just glide effortlessly over this instrumental. That synth is super slick, and the chorus is a powerful and hard-hitting rendition of the verses instrumentals. Like Girls, this one also talks about them battling and fighting this Black Mamba in their digital world, but it also expresses their desire to essentially dominate the K-pop industry, and it's kind of cool because they're actually doing that now. Forever is a kind of similar case to ICU, where the track is pretty pleasant to listen to in a vacuum, but has no business being on this mini-album. Honestly, if you put this one alongside ICU onto their own project with maybe one or two other acoustic and ballady-oriented tracks, we'd be talking, but as it stands, this one is just so out of place, especially coming after Black Mamba. However, these soft beat, Latin-flavored guitars and delicate vocals are very pleasant to listen to overall. I'm also really loving the harmonies on the chorus too. It stays in one place a lot, and like I said, it does really need to be on its own project, but it is a pretty pleasant song overall. The mini-album does end on a strong note though, with Dreams Come True. That synth line and beat are really catchy, and for some reason I'm getting like these Mega Man 8 vibes in the synth especially, which is absolutely not what they were going for, but still, I have to connect everything back to fucking video games apparently. It has an otherworldly nature because of it, but it still gets reined in by that 90s inspired dance pop beat. It has some synth funk influences at times as well, and it's just a really bouncy and fun tune that has two very distinct sounds but somehow work very well together. The chorus combines all of these elements in a very fun way, and the sweet love song angle going on in the lyrics just highlights all of this. So as you can probably gather, this is a pretty odd mini, I have to say. There's so many different sounds and offshoots that I don't think they really knew what they were going for. There's some dance pop bangers, pop ballads, and some acoustic tracks too. It's kind of tonal whiplash, and the pacing of this project was a bit all over the place because of it. The dance pop stuff is definitely the highlight of the project overall, all of them being very tightly put together and fun. The ballads really should have been on their own project, and Life's Too Short was just kind of a dud in general. As an aside, it's also kind of weird how a lot of these tracks are actually just older songs that they compiled onto one mini-album. I'm not really complaining because it is nice to have them all in one place, but it's an interesting angle that they were going for, not having too many new songs. Still, there's some good stuff on here in isolation. I'm just not sure how well they synergize with each other and come together as a final product. Because of this though, I am feeling a decent 6 on aespa's second mini-album. Of course, we have to talk about album covers on this show, and I think this is a pretty cool one actually. It does combine their sort of digital world aesthetic in a sort of modern way, with just them being at the forefront. The kind of hyper-stylized text of their name also kind of captures that cyberpunky aesthetic a little bit. We got the little digital text in blue at the bottom, so I think this was a pretty clean album cover. It definitely fits their dance pop sounds on it. I just don't think it really fits their ballad stuff. But of course, those are just my thoughts on this newest mini-album by aespa. What did you guys think? Do you think this was a pretty well-rounded project, had a little bit of everything that you liked, or were you hoping for something a little bit more cohesive? Let me know. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell if they're your girls, and until the next one, farewell.